What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Baroshmo, just in case you did not know so. And today we're going over the New Orleans Saints. We're going to take a look at the roster. We're going to take a look at the schedule. I'm going to give you my projected starters as well as my prediction for how they'll fare this season. But as always, go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. I'm going to take these off. This is actually didn't know I still had them on. My apologies. But go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. I think I said that. We got the Madden stuff. Should be already out on the channel. Second episode tomorrow. It's going to be every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I am still trying to find a way to be able to basically game capture NCAA. And so I'm gathering stuff. I just don't want to use an emulator. I'm pretty sure that actually doesn't even work anymore. So if you don't already have it, looked very heavily into it, and my options are becoming thinner and thinner. So hopefully I'll get that all figured out, hopefully by tomorrow or the day that you're seeing this. But let's go ahead and let's do the dang thing. Also, keep in mind, FTFN, yes. I'm going to push that real quick. If you haven't already, take a look in the description. Follow link. Follow the social handles on top of that. All that stuff will drop in the beginning of July. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've said it in a couple of videos. I might throw something in the community tab about it as well. So yeah, it's just gonna be popping. If you're a big football fan, then you're gonna get a lot of different perspectives on football news. And I mean, like I said, man, I love ingesting stuff like that. Not like, you know, but kind of like that. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at the roster. We're going to start with the offense. And this team is definitely built to win over the course of the next 2 seasons. I believe that's what Drew Brees signed on for. So they're kind of, I don't want to say throwing caution to the wind, but they're built to win now. They're built to win a Super Bowl. So I kind of view them as such. I think they are a very, very good squad. They added very good players, especially, let's just go over the receiving core. And Manuel Sanders, I thought, was huge. A guy that has the ability to line up in the slot or even stretch the field vertically. I just like it. And Michael Thomas, we kind of know that he can be a vertical threat. They just don't really use him that way. And he's actually been pretty efficient when asked to do that. Now, Teddy Ginn Jr. is gone, so you got to ask the question, who will be, I guess, this third receiver in the lineup? And a lot of people will point to Tre'Quan Smith. And he's kind of been like, he'll have like really good performances, but then he just does nothing for long stretches of time, you know? And I think if they want to go with the vertical threat, he's a bit undersized, at least compared to Teddy Ginn, is Deonte Harris, who was primarily a special teamer, a returner last season, but he did show some flash, especially in the playoff game. And I mean, just looking at this, if you're looking for someone to stretch the field, Tre'Quan Smith, he was targeted only 5 times downfield last season, 1 of 5, and that was for 21 yards when targeted, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. That's when targeted on passes that go through the air 20 yards or more, opposed to Deonte Harris, who did that in 1 reception, 50 yards. The guy, he's just electric with the football. I like to see them utilize him more in this offense. So I'm kind of waiting, and I'm excited. I think there's a lot of reasons. I mean, this team, they got some weapons. I mean, you could even talk about Jared Cook. Like low key, he's a very good vertical threat as a tight end. They brought in Adam Troutman. I don't know. He's not gonna be the starting tight end immediately, but I definitely think he's gonna take snaps away from Josh Hill, who really proved he can't really move the. Well, he's nothing more than maybe a chain mover at best. So Adam Troutman, who's coming out of Dayton with those video game stats, he might fit the bill as a heir apparent to Jared Cook. And then Drew Brees himself he's got a beautiful weapon in Alvin Kamara. They can just really utilize him wherever on the field, not primarily vertically, but I mean, that's typically you're hard pressed to find a run back that can do that. But he's very good in the intermediate and behind the line of scrimmage. I'm talking as a receiver because the man gets touches. What, last season he had 104 receptions, ridiculous. And then behind him, Latavius Murray. I don't know how much of a role. I imagine he might get more snaps this year. I mean, he's really the only time he saw significant snaps is when Kamara actually went down with injury. I think more so to keep Kamara fresh, to keep Kamara, I guess injury free. They might utilize him more this year. And then they brought in guys with a similar style of play as Alvin Kamara, being Ty Montgomery, and then Dwayne Washington's there too. So don't sleep on him. So like I said, weapons for days, and the offensive line is very good as well. Well, parts of it. There's one gripe I have, but I mean, if you're not new to the channel, you probably already know. So obviously Armstead, one of the best tackles in the league, one of the best pass protectors in the league at the left tackle position. So good on y'all. And then on the other side, Ryan Ramczyk, the dude is just phenomenal. Probably, I'm not gonna lie, probably the best right tackle in football. Just gonna say that. I'm just gonna throw that out there. He's just really, really good. And then on the interior, they bring in Cesar Ruiz, who was their first round pick. They opted to not, which kind of surprised me because Larry Warford, he actually played very well for him last season. If anything, I would have ditched Adradis Pete. Oh, I probably butchered that last name, but it don't matter. He played very bad. If anything, I would have brought in Ruiz and not given Pete all that money. Like, that's a lot of money. What was it, 5 years, 75 minutes, something like that. It was ludicrous. Yeah, I didn't like it. The dude, he had 634 snaps. He allowed 20 pressures, but 20 of those pressures turned into hurries, 3 hits, 3 sacks. You don't like that. He didn't play the whole season, only 11 games. I'm just saying, I'd rather stuck with Warford, who, like I said, was much better. And it's not like he was a worse pass blocker as well as far as Pete. But let's talk about the positives, because, I mean, Eric McCoy ended up being a monster. Dude was phenomenal at center. And that's right now, that's a position kind of weird, kind of in flux in the NFL. It's hard to find a very good center. Not necessarily that it's not like they're the most valuable position on offense. Like, obviously your tackles way more valuable, but even then it's hard to find top flight centers. Like, honestly, there's probably maybe 2 or 3 actual elite centers in football right now. Everyone else maybe above average. It's just kind of hard to find. So it's nice to see that. It's nice to see, hey, great rookie season. Let's build upon that. As far as depth, I mean, they got Nick Easton, but I mean, he's kind of whatever. He wasn't much different than Pete when he had to come in and start. And then I like the pickup of Calvin Throckmorton, because the guy, he is a technician. He's played everywhere on the line of scrimmage outside of the left tackle. The only time he saw snaps at left tackle was the Senior Bowl, which was a terrible idea, and sticking by it. But the guy, he's really good. He's graded out very well throughout his college career. He brings a lot of experience. I like that. James Hurst, I think, is a good depth piece on the line. So again, this offense is built to go to the Super Bowl. This team is built to make a run. And then a lot of people want to knock Drew Brees because, hey man, he doesn't got the same arm. I mean, look at what happened to Brady this year. He wasn't able to push the ball vertically. You could also say he didn't have weapons, but honestly, he did. He it's not like he stopped throwing downfield, and he was pretty effective when doing so. He was what, 9 out of 20. 22. So he was like 17 of 35. Mainly it was the right side that he was doing well on. But I mean, the dude had six touchdowns to 3 interceptions when targeting the ball downfield. And honestly, even if you get picked off downfield like that, more times than not, it's not going to be returned. Like, for a touchdown. You ain't got to worry about the pick six. And on top of that, it just kind of works as maybe a crappy punt. So I'm not too worried about a guy taking shots downfield. He's still extremely accurate. He's money underneath and in the intermediate. And now he's got I would say that Manuel Sanders is an upgrade over Teddy Ginn. Manuel Sanders offers a variety, while Teddy Ginn was very good at one thing. So it'll be interesting. I think the offense is phenomenal. Keep on keeping on. Let's go ahead and talk about the defense. Let me just check this real quick. Thought I wasn't recording. That would have sucked. The defense, again, a team I think that's basic. It's built. This team is a very good defense. This team's built to win now, win in a hurry. Cameron Jordan, one of the best edge rushers in the league. Dude coming off a 17 sack season, I believe. 17 sacks, yep. And he's just phenomenal. You do want to see Marcus Davenport be able to stay healthy. The dude's extremely athletic, good frame. And it's not like he's played poorly. He's actually pretty darn good. He had 51 pressures last year in 13 games, and that was on 355 pass rushing snaps. So he's getting pressure, not necessarily finishing, but he's getting pressure. As far as guys behind him, Trey Hendrickson, probably the only guy of note, maybe get involved in the rotation there. And even then, I mean, he's pretty solid in his own right. He had a win rate of a little less than 10%. So, and then on the interior can be downright frightening. I kind of disagree with a little bit here, but I'll get into that. Sheldon Rankins, the dude when healthy is actually phenomenal. Can he stay healthy? That's the question. That'll be kind of a thing to watch, but they do have guys there that could come in and fill in at a high level. David, Onyemata? They just re-signed him. They just extended him, and it's not like he's phenomenal. I think he's a good rotation player. The guy I'm really looking for to step up this year. Not necessarily. He saw significant snaps last season. He had 522 is Malcolm Brown. The guy, he is probably the only real true zero tech on this team. The guy gets really good pressure playing in the nose, which not a lot of guys can do that. They can push the pocket, but they can't put pressure in the pocket. He can do that. He's a solid run defender. I expect him at least to be, if they're going to continue this rotation, he's going to be on par with Onyemata and Rankins as far as snap total, if Rankins stays healthy. But they also have Shy Tuttle, who came in last year and actually played very well. I mean, he had 2 sacks, 15 pressures. Pretty solid for a limited workload, so I like that. Mario Edwards Jr. actually played particularly well, kind of a journeyman at this stage of his career, but in very limited snaps, he was getting pressure. So this defensive line, downright scary, terrifying. Let's go to linebacker core because a little more questions there. So Demario Davis, we don't really need to talk much about him. You know, he's the starter. The guy, he had the best season of his career last year. The guy's always been pretty solid, you know, average if not above average for his career. But last year was just, he looked beautiful. So who will be starting next to him is the question, because AJ Klein's gone. You're losing 827 snaps from that. Alex Anzalone, who he's struggled mightily with shoulder injuries throughout his whole career. His young career, the dude's out of, I think, a potential 52 games he could have played, he's only played 26 of them. Missing the other 26 due to injury. But he's super athletic. He has like all the makings of a guy that could be very good in coverage. So I think this guy, I think honestly, he should be kind of the penciled in starter. But can he stay healthy? That's like the biggest thing, the biggest gripe I probably have with him. Last year he only had 46 snaps because of injury, only played 2 games. So Kiko Alonso honestly might come in here and maybe be a mainstay at linebacker, or at least in someone in the rotation, because he's average. You know what you're getting from him. He's not spectacular, but he gets the job done. So if anything, because he almost had 300 snaps last season. So honestly, probably might get close if Anzalone does get hurt. Zach Bond is an interesting name, but a name I don't want to throw out there too much because I expect, okay, they drafted him and I expect him probably to almost like start immediately and get in that rotation. But this is a guy that is basically converted from edge rusher to linebacker. I mean, he's athletic enough to do so, but from what I've seen as far as him going back in coverage, it's not like it's anything special. I'd still rather trust Anzalone and maybe even Kiko Alonso over him, who's been pretty decent in coverage. So I don't. There's a lot of interesting things you could say Joe Bacci here, but I think he's a special teamer. Same with Anthony Chicalillo, and so I bet Amaro Davis, Alex Anzalone. If he goes down, Kiko Alonso instantly becomes probably the guy that'll see a majority of that snaps, while Zach Bond kind of learns the trade, so to speak. And then at corner, I like this team at corner. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore kind of had a down year, but still pretty darn good by his standards. It's not like he had really good play next to him. Eli Apple was pretty not bad, but he wasn't great, you know. The real improvement, I thought it was money by re-signing Janoris Jenkins. I thought that was very smart, very wise. He was very good in the 3 games he played with them, so I think he instantly starts. But then when they have to go to sub packages, you're going to see Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He overtook PJ Williams, who was terrible last season in the slot. He allowed 7 touchdowns and how many yards? Too many yards. That's how many. 570. But 7 touchdowns. That's ridiculous. So Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he's going to be the starter in the slot. And then you go to the secondary where you got Marcus Williams, Malcolm Jenkins. Marcus Williams is coming off another stellar campaign. The guy is one of the better young safeties in the league. Malcolm Jenkins has been very consistent his whole career. Now he returns home to New Orleans, or at least home, his NFL home. Original home. So a lot to be excited for. I think an interesting name maybe look is Sukwon Hampton, who primarily played on special teams, but when he did have to enter the game, which granted was like a handful of times, I thought he looked particularly well. He was a guy I kind of liked in the draft too a few years ago. So a lot to like with this defense. I don't think too many holes. They got a lot of options. I know this term gets ripped up, but they might be one of the most complete teams in the NFL. But as far as they have incredible starting talent, and on top of that, they have some quality depth. Let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule. All right, so of course you got Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and the Carolina Panthers twice a year. Tampa Bay and Atlanta are going to be I think they're going to be very good teams. I mean, Atlanta, they have really good talent. It's just in the building there, but they just need to get things together. They looked very good at the end of the year, so maybe that's a strong indication of how they will play this season. Tampa Bay has Tom Brady, of course, and then Carolina, they're in a rebuild, so you could probably pocket 2 wins from them. But on top of that, they got to face the NFC North with the Green Bay Packers. That team, yes, they didn't improve much, if any at all, but it's still Aaron Rodgers. This team was still 13-3 last year. Still a tough matchup. Minnesota Vikings, I still believe will be a tough matchup just because, well, they beat them last year, and yeah, they kind of, what would you say? Oh, slash the secondary? I feel like there's a better way to say that, but they lost their 3 starting corners. They're letting some of their younger guys come in and start, so it'll be interesting, but it's not like those guys were incredible last year. Outside of probably Mackenzie Alexander, I actually think he's very underrated. On top of that, Detroit, they're typically pretty competitive every year. Chicago Bears, I mean, I don't know, maybe Nick Foles comes in and does a little magic. And as far as the AFC, they got the AFC West, meaning, hey, you got the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not too scared of that. I'm not too scared of the Chargers either. I'm not too afraid of, granted, a rising Denver team, but still, they're rising. They're kind of in year 2 of this rebuild they got going on. But the Chiefs, yeah, that kind of sucks. That'll be interesting and a fun matchup. It's unfortunate we got to wait all the way till December for it to happen. So Overall, I don't think it's an incredibly tough schedule, but I think it's a middle of the road schedule. It's there are some tough games sprinkled in there, but it's very doable. And for the starters, we're going to start with the offense. Drew Brees, of course, he is the captain of the ship. And then we got Alvin Kamara being there as well at running back. And then Michael Thomas, Manuel Sanders, very scary receiving duo there. And then Deonte Harris, I kind of spoke on him earlier. I'm very high on him, at least his ability to outplay Traquan Smith. And then Jared Cook there at tight end. The offensive line, for the most part, looks the same outside of the addition of Cesar Ruiz. You know how I feel about Pete. And then I got Eric McCoy there at center. And then your tackles being Armstead and Ramchak, probably the best tackle duo in all of football. On to the defense, and I got Sheldon Rankins and then Malcolm Brown. And you heard me speak on him earlier and how I feel about his how he will perform this year. He will be in the rotation. I think their snaps will be very similar with David Animata. There we go. But we'll see. And then Marcus Davenport, Cameron Jordan at linebacker. I got Demario Davis, and I put Kiko Alonso. But if Alex Anzalone, if he can stay healthy, that's the thing. That's the only thing I worry about. If he can stay healthy, it's got a good upside. And in the secondary, Marshawn Lattimore, Janoris Jenkins, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson coming in there in the slot, Malcolm Jenkins and Marcus Williams at safety. A very good looking secondary. So how will they do this year? And don't get it wrong, there's no bias here. I know I got a Brees jersey behind me, but I'm a Dolphins fan. Dolphins, you maybe see it right there, but it's behind there because Dolphins should signed him in the free agency of 2006. It's more so I like the hurt. I live in this pain of what could have been. But I am high on this team. They're again a very, very good looking team on paper. They perform well. I trust Drew Brees and I trust Sean Payton. So I got them at 12-4 this season. Yeah, like I said, very good squad. They should do well. They should play well. They are playing for now, so it only makes sense for them to do well. But anyway, that's all I got for you. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that's it for the video. I don't know why I did that. But go ahead, do the YouTube thing. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.